Marcus stood outside the glass doors of the elegant restaurant, rain pouring down his face. His worn jacket was soaked through. Mud covered his boots. He probably smelled like the streets. He pushed the door open. The hostess looked up from her podium. Her smile vanished instantly. "Sir, I'm sorry, but we can't serve you here," she said, taking a step back. Marcus looked down at himself. He knew exactly how he appeared. Homeless, desperate, dirty. "I can pay," Marcus said quietly. "Sir, this is a fine dining establishment." The hostess wrinkled her nose. "We have standards to maintain." Every head in the restaurant turned. Whispers rippled through the room. A woman clutched her designer purse tighter. "I just want a meal," Marcus said. "Tom!" the hostess called out sharply. "Tom, we need you." A man in his 30s hurried over, his manager's badge gleaming under the chandelier. His name tag read Tom Henderson. He looked Marcus up and down, and his expression hardened. "Sir, you need to leave," Tom said coldly. "I have money." "It's not about money." Tom stepped closer. "Look at yourself. You're dripping water everywhere. You smell terrible. You're making our guests uncomfortable." Marcus felt something twist in his chest. This was exactly what he'd come to find. "Please," Marcus said softly. "Just one meal. Security." Tom shouted. Two large men in black suits appeared. They grabbed Marcus by both arms. "Don't come back," Tom called as they dragged Marcus toward the door. "Next time we're calling the cops." The door slammed shut behind him. Marcus stood on the sidewalk, rain hammering down. Through the window, he watched the diners return to their meals. Tom was laughing with a customer, probably bragging about how he'd handled the situation. Marcus pulled out his phone. It was an expensive model in a waterproof case. Not yet, he thought. He walked away, footsteps echoing in the rain. What Tom didn't know was that Marcus owned that restaurant. He owned the entire block, the coffee shop on the corner, the boutique store, the luxury apartments. He owned 12 other restaurants across the city. But that morning Marcus had dressed in his oldest clothes. He'd skipped his shower. He'd walked through the roughest neighborhoods before heading to his own establishment. He needed to see something. He needed to know the truth about the people running his businesses. Now he knew. Marcus reached his car 3 blocks away. A luxury sedan worth more than most people made in 2 years. He climbed inside and sat in silence. His phone buzzed. "Sarah, his executive assistant. How did it go?" she asked. "Worse than I expected," Marcus said heavily. "All of them. 4 restaurants this morning. Kicked out of 3. At the 4th, a waitress tried to help me, but the manager threatened to fire her." Sarah was quiet. "What are you going to do?" Marcus looked back at the restaurant. Tom was visible through the window, completely unaware his world was about to change. "I'm finishing what I started," Marcus said. 8 more restaurants to visit. Then we're having a meeting. Should I prepare the paperwork? Not yet. But Sarah, get our lawyers ready. This is going to get messy. He ended the call and started the car. 25 years ago, Marcus had been genuinely homeless, a kid with nothing but the clothes on his back. He'd slept in shelters. He'd been kicked out of restaurants. He'd been treated like he was invisible. It took 15 years to build his empire. 15 years of working 3 jobs, saving every penny, taking terrifying risks. His first restaurant was a tiny diner in a bad neighborhood. Now he owned 13 establishments. All successful, all profitable. But somewhere along the way, his restaurants had become exactly the kind of places that would have rejected young, homeless Marcus. That needed to change. Marcus drove to his next location, a trendy bistro in the Arts District. He parked 2 blocks away, rubbed more dirt on his face, messed up his hair. The host saw him coming and blocked the door. "No, we don't serve your kind here." "My kind?" Marcus asked. "You know what I mean. This isn't a soup kitchen. Try the Shelter on 5th Street. 5 restaurants, 5 rejections. What hurt most wasn't the rejection itself. It was how easy it was for them. How natural. They saw someone poor, someone homeless, and their compassion just turned off. At his 6th restaurant, a family-style Italian place, something different happened. "Oh, honey, are you okay?" An older waitress with kind eyes approached. Her name tag read Jennifer Rodriguez. "I'm hungry," Marcus said simply. Jennifer looked around nervously. The manager was in the back. She made a quick decision. "Come with me, quick." She led him to a back booth hidden by a large plant. "Stay here. I'll bring you something." But before she could leave, a sharp voice cut through the restaurant. "Jennifer, what the hell are you doing?" A young man stormed over, slicked back hair, expensive suit. His name tag read Tom Chen, manager. Tom, I was just, get away from him. Tom grabbed Jennifer's arm. Now. He's hungry, Jennifer protested. I don't care if he's starving. We have a reputation. You want to feed every bum who walks in? Marcus felt his jaw tighten. You're fired, Tom said flatly. Clean out your locker. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. Tom, please. I need this job. I have 3 kids. Should have thought about that before you tried to turn my restaurant into a homeless shelter. Get out. Marcus stood up slowly. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A text from Sarah. Lawyers are ready. Just say the word. Marcus typed back quickly. Document everything. Jennifer Rodriguez, Italian Palace Restaurant, fired for compassion. I want her protected. He looked up at Tom. You just made a very big mistake. Tom laughed. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do about it, bum? Sue me, Marcus smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. Something like that, he said quietly. Then he turned and walked out, leaving Tom confused and Jennifer crying. But as he walked away, Marcus made a decision. This wasn't just about revenge. This was about changing everything. What would happen when Tom discovered who Marcus really was? When all 13 managers realized their homeless visitor owned everything they thought was theirs, the answer would shock everyone. Marcus sat in his office on the 42nd floor of downtown Chicago. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the city sprawling below. Rain streaked down the glass. Sarah walked in with a thick folder. All 13 restaurants, she said, placing it on his mahogany desk. Complete documentation. Marcus opened the folder. Photos, video footage from security cameras, written statements from employees who'd witnessed everything. Kicked out of 9 restaurants, Sarah said. 9 out of 13. And the 4 that didn't kick me out? 2 didn't notice you. You left before anyone approached. 1, the manager was about to kick you out, but a customer intervened and paid for your meal. And the 4th, Jennifer Rodriguez at Italian Palace, tried to help you. Got fired, Marcus nodded slowly. What else do we know about Jennifer? Sarah pulled out another file. Jennifer Rodriguez, 47 years old, single mother of 3, works 2 jobs. Been with Italian Palace for 6 years. Employee of the month 4 times. Never a complaint. Perfect record. Until she showed compassion, Marcus said bitterly. Tom Chen fired her on the spot. No warning. No severance. Just told her to get out. Marcus stood and walked to the window. The city stretched endlessly before him. Somewhere down there, Jennifer was probably crying, wondering how she'd pay her rent. Call our lawyers, Marcus said. I want Jennifer Rodriguez hired immediately. Executive salary, full benefits. And I want her back pay for every year she worked at Italian Palace, plus compensation for wrongful termination. Already done, Sarah said with a small smile. She starts Monday as Regional Compassion Director. $75,000 a year. Marcus turned, surprised. You hired her already? I know how you think, Marcus. I've worked for you for 8 years. I knew what you'd want, Marcus smiled. It was the first real smile he'd had all day. What about the managers who kicked me out? He asked. They have no idea. As far as they know, they handled a homeless situation. Tom Henderson from the first restaurant even posted about it on social media. He what? Sarah pulled out her phone and showed him. A photo of the restaurant. Caption, successfully maintained our establishment standards today. Leadership means making tough calls. Marcus felt anger rising in his chest. He's bragging about it. 23 comments, all supporting him. Saying he did the right thing, Marcus sat back down. He was quiet for a long moment. I built these restaurants from nothing, he finally said. Every brick, every table, every plate. I worked 80-hour weeks for years, and somewhere along the way they became everything I hated. You couldn't have known, Sarah said gently. I should have known. I got comfortable. I stopped paying attention. I hired managers and trusted them completely. I never checked if they actually cared about people. So what now? Marcus looked at the folder. 13 restaurants, 13 managers, 9 failures. Now we fix it, he said. Call an emergency meeting. All 13 managers. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. This office. What are you going to tell them? The truth, Marcus stood. That their homeless visitor owns everything. That their careers are over. And that we're rebuilding from the ground up. Sarah nodded. I'll send the emails now. Wait, Marcus held up a hand. Don't tell them why. Just say there's an emergency shareholders meeting. Keep it vague. They'll be nervous. Good. They should be. Sarah left to send the emails. Marcus turned back to the window. Rain was still falling. He thought about young Marcus 25 years ago. Sleeping in doorways, begging for food, being treated like garbage. He'd promised himself that if he ever made it, he'd never forget where he came from, but he had forgotten. And it took dressing like a homeless man to remember. His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Williams? A woman's voice, shaky with tears. This is Jennifer Rodriguez. I just got a call from someone named Sarah Parker, she said. She said you're offering me a job. Marcus smiled. Yes, Jennifer, I am. I don't understand. How did you... Were you the man at the restaurant? The one Tom kicked out? That was me. Jennifer was quiet for a moment. You own Italian Palace, don't you? I do. Oh my God. Jennifer started crying. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for how you were treated. I tried to help. I swear I tried. Jennifer, Marcus interrupted gently. You did help. You were the only one who tried. That's why I'm hiring you. I don't know what to say. Say you'll take the job. Say you'll help me make sure what happened to you never happens to anyone else. Yes, Jennifer whispered. Yes, absolutely, yes. Good, Sarah will send you all the details. Welcome to the team, Jennifer. He ended the call and looked back at the city. Tomorrow, 13 managers would walk into his office expecting a routine meeting. Instead, they'd discover that the homeless man they'd kicked out owned everything, and their world would never be the same. But Marcus wasn't finished. There was one more thing he needed to do. He picked up his phone and dialed. Chicago Tribune, how may I direct your call? I need to speak with your investigative journalism department, Marcus said. May I ask what this is regarding? Discrimination, homelessness, and how the wealthy treat the poor in their own establishments. There was a pause. One moment, please. The line clicked. A man's voice came on. This is David Chen, investigative reporter. How can I help you? Mr. Chen, my name is Marcus Williams. I own 13 restaurants in Chicago, and I have a story that's going to shock this entire city. I'm listening, Marcus smiled. How would you like exclusive coverage of what happens when a restaurant owner disguises himself as homeless and gets kicked out of his own establishments? David Chen was very quiet. Then when can we meet? Tomorrow. After my manager's meeting. Bring a camera crew. Mr. Williams, this is huge, I know. That's why I'm calling you. This isn't just about me. It's about every homeless person in this city who gets treated like they're invisible. I'll be there, David said. Oh, you have my word. Marcus ended the call. Sarah walked back in. All 13 managers confirmed for tomorrow. 10 o'clock sharp, perfect. Marcus stood. Sarah, tomorrow is going to change everything. Are you sure about this? Once you go public, there's no going back. I've never been more sure of anything. Sarah nodded. Then let's do it right. Let's make it count. Marcus looked at the folder on his desk. 13 restaurants, 9 managers who'd failed the most basic test of humanity, but 4 who'd passed. Or at least hadn't failed. Tomorrow he'd separate them. The compassionate from the cruel, the worthy from the worthless, and the city would watch it all unfold. What Marcus didn't know was that Tom Henderson from the first restaurant had already heard rumors about the meeting, and Tom was planning something. Something that would make everything far more complicated. But that revelation was still hours away. The next morning, Marcus arrived at his office at 8 o'clock. 2 hours before the meeting, Sarah was already there, setting up the conference room. Jennifer Rodriguez arrived 30 minutes ago, Sarah said. She's in the waiting area. Very nervous. Bring her in. A moment later, Jennifer walked into Marcus's office. She wore a simple dress, her hair pulled back. Her eyes were red from crying. Mr. Williams, she said, voice shaking. Thank you so much for you won't call me Marcus. He gestured to a chair. Please sit. Jennifer sat, hands clasped tightly in her lap. Jennifer, I need to ask you something, Marcus said. In 6 years at Italian Palace, did you ever see Tom Chen treat anyone else the way he treated me? Jennifer looked down. Yes, many times. Tell me, she took a deep breath. 3 months ago, an elderly man came in. He was wearing old clothes. Not homeless, just poor Tom refused to serve him. Said he didn't fit the restaurant's image. Go on. Last year, a family came in. Hispanic family. The father was a construction worker, still in his work clothes. Tom made them wait 2 hours for a table, even though we had empty seats. They finally left. How many incidents? I stopped counting at 20. Jennifer's voice cracked. I tried to help when I could, but Tom always stopped me. He said I was too soft, that I didn't understand business. Marcus nodded slowly. You understand that what Tom did was illegal, right? Discrimination. Wrongful termination. I know, but I couldn't afford a lawyer. I have 3 kids. I needed the job. You don't need to worry about that anymore. Marcus slid a folder across the desk. Your new contract. Regional Compassion Director. Your job is to visit all 13 restaurants, identify problems, and fix them. Jennifer opened the folder. Her eyes widened. $75,000 a year, plus benefits. Health insurance, dental, vision, 4 weeks paid vacation. Jennifer started crying again. I don't know what to say. Say you'll help me make sure no one else gets treated the way you were, the way I was. I will. I promise. Sarah knocked on the door. Marcus, they're starting to arrive. Marcus checked his watch. 9:30, good, let them wait. He turned to Jennifer. I want you in the meeting. I want them to see you. To see what they did. Jennifer's eyes widened. Tom Chen will be there. All 13 managers, including Tom. I don't know if I can face him. Marcus leaned forward. Jennifer, you showed compassion when it cost you everything. Now I'm asking you to show strength. Can you do that? Jennifer wiped her tears. She sat up straighter. Yes, I can. Good. Because what happens in the next hour will change everything. By 9:45, all 13 managers had arrived. They sat in the conference room, confused and nervous. Tom Henderson whispered to Tom Chen, Do you know what this is about? No idea, Tom Chen whispered back. Maybe he's selling? Or opening new locations? At exactly 10 o'clock, Marcus walked into the conference room. Every manager stood immediately. Sit, Marcus said. They sat. Marcus remained standing. Sarah stood beside him. Jennifer stood near the door, hands clasped. Good morning, Marcus said. Thank you for coming on such short notice. Of course, Mr. Williams, Tom Henderson said smoothly. We're always happy to meet with you. Are you? Marcus asked. Always happy to meet with me? Tom Henderson looked confused. Sir, let me ask you something. If I walked into your restaurant right now, how would you treat me? With the utmost respect, sir. As always, even if I looked like this. Marcus pulled out his phone. He pressed a button. The large screen on the wall lit up. Security footage from Tom Henderson's restaurant. Yesterday, Marcus, in his homeless disguise, dripping wet, being dragged out by security. The room went completely silent. Tom Henderson's face turned white. Oh God, someone whispered. Marcus pressed another button. Footage from the Italian palace. Tom Chen firing Jennifer. Then footage from the bistro. The host blocking the door. Then the family restaurant. The coffee shop. The steakhouse. 9 videos. 9 rejections. Some managers started to understand. Horror spread across their faces. Others, like Tom Henderson, still looked confused. I don't understand, Tom Henderson said. That was you. That was me, Marcus confirmed. But why would you dress like that? Why would you test us? Test you? Marcus's voice was cold. I wasn't testing you. I was showing you who you really are. Tom Chen suddenly stood up. Mr. Williams, I can explain. Sit down. Tom Chen sat. Marcus walked slowly around the conference table. 25 years ago, I was genuinely homeless. I slept in shelters. I ate at soup kitchens. I was kicked out of restaurants just like you kicked me out yesterday. He stopped behind Tom Henderson's chair. I built this company from nothing. 15 years of 80-hour weeks. 15 years of sacrifice. And I built it on one simple principle. Everyone deserves dignity. He moved to Tom Chen, but somewhere along the way I lost touch. I stopped paying attention. I hired managers and trusted them to uphold my values. He walked to the front of the room. Yesterday I discovered that 9 out of 13 of you failed the most basic test of humanity. You saw someone in need and you turned them away. Sir, we were following protocol, Tom Henderson started. Protocol? Marcus's voice rose. Show me the protocol that says we don't serve poor people. Show me where I ever wrote that we judge people by their appearance. Silence, you can't. Because it doesn't exist. You created that policy yourselves. A younger manager, Emily Santos, raised her hand. Mr. Williams, I didn't kick you out. No, you didn't, Emily. In fact, you didn't even notice me. I left before you could. That's not admirable. That's just neutral. Emily looked down. But Jennifer Rodriguez, Marcus gestured to Jennifer by the door. She did notice me. She tried to help. And Tom Chen fired her for it. All eyes turned to Tom Chen. He looked sick. Tom... Stand up, Marcus said. Tom Chen stood slowly. Tell everyone what you said to Jennifer. Tom's voice was barely a whisper. I don't remember exactly. Let me refresh your memory. Marcus pressed play on another video. Audio only. Tom's voice filled the room. I don't care if he's starving. We have a reputation. You want to feed every bum who walks in. You're fired. Should have thought about that before you tried to turn my restaurant into a homeless shelter. The room was deathly silent. Jennifer has 3 children, Marcus said. She worked 2 jobs. She had a perfect record for 6 years. And you fired her because she showed compassion. Tom Chen's legs seemed to give out. He sat down hard. As of this moment, Marcus said, Tom Chen, you're terminated. Security will escort you out. You have 1 hour to clear your desk. Mr. Williams, please, you're done. Leave. 2 security guards appeared. They escorted Tom Chen out. He was crying. Marcus turned to the remaining managers. Tom Henderson. Tom Henderson stood. He was shaking. You kicked me out first. Then you bragged about it on social media. Stand up and read what you posted. Tom pulled out his phone with trembling hands. Successfully maintained our establishment standards today. Leadership means making tough calls. Leadership, Marcus repeated. You think kicking out someone who needs help is leadership? I thought I was protecting the business. You're fired. Get out. Tom Henderson left, stunned. Marcus went through the list. 9 managers. All fired. All escorted out. When it was over, only 4 managers remained. Emily Santos, Michael Chen, David Park, and Rachel Goldman. You 4 didn't kick me out, Marcus said. 2 of you didn't notice me. 1 of you was about to. But a customer intervened. And Rachel, you actually looked like you wanted to help, but you hesitated. Rachel nodded, tears in her eyes. Here's what's going to happen, Marcus said. You 4 are on probation. You'll work directly with Jennifer Rodriguez, our new regional compassion director. You'll learn what this company really stands for. If you succeed, you keep your jobs. If you fail, you're out. Yes, sir, they said in unison. Meeting dismissed. The 4 managers filed out quietly. Only Marcus, Sarah and Jennifer remained. That was brutal, Sarah said softly. It needed to be. Marcus sat down heavily. 9 managers. 9 empty positions. We'll fill them, Jennifer said. With people who understand compassion. Marcus nodded. I have a press conference in 2 hours. David Chen from the Tribune is coming. This is going public. Are you ready for that? Sarah asked. Ready or not, it's happening. Marcus stood. The city needs to know. Every restaurant owner needs to see what happens when you forget where you came from. What Marcus didn't know was that Tom Henderson wasn't going quietly. Right now, Tom was on the phone with his lawyer, planning a lawsuit. He was calling other fired managers, forming an alliance, and he was reaching out to competitors, spreading a story about Marcus that would threaten everything. But that storm was still brewing. For now, Marcus had won the first battle. The war was just beginning. 2 hours later, Marcus sat in his office with David Chen from the Chicago Tribune. A camera crew was setting up lights and equipment. This is incredible, David said, reviewing the footage Marcus had provided. Do you realize how big this story is? I do. Restaurant mogul disguises himself as homeless, gets kicked out of his own establishments. This is national news, Mr. Williams, maybe international. Good, it should be. David leaned forward. But you understand the backlash you'll face? People will call this a stunt. They'll say you set up your managers. They can say whatever they want. The truth is, in the footage, what do you hope to achieve? Marcus was quiet for a moment. I want every restaurant owner in America to ask themselves a question. Who are we really serving? And who are we turning away? David nodded. When did you realize your restaurants had this problem? About 6 months ago. I got a letter from an old friend. Someone I knew when I was homeless. He said he'd tried to eat at one of my restaurants, and they'd refused to serve him. What did you do? At first, I didn't believe it. I thought maybe there was a misunderstanding. So I called the manager, asked about it. He admitted it. Said my friend didn't meet their standards. How did that make you feel? furious, heartbroken, ashamed. Marcus looked out the window. I'd built these restaurants to be different, to be welcoming, to be the kind of place that would have served young homeless Marcus. And instead they'd become exactly what I'd hated. So you decided to investigate? Yes, I wanted to see if it was isolated. One bad manager, one bad location. But it wasn't, it was systemic. David scribbled notes. 9 out of 13 restaurants rejected you. 9, that's almost 70%. I know the math, David gestured to the camera crew. They started filming. Mr. Williams, can you tell us about Jennifer Rodriguez? Marcus told Jennifer's story. How she'd tried to help. How Tom Chen had fired her. How she now worked for him. She's in the building now, Marcus said. Would you like to interview her? Absolutely. Sarah brought Jennifer in. She was nervous, fidgeting with her hands. Ms. Rodriguez, David said gently, can you tell us what happened yesterday? Jennifer told her story. The camera captured every word. Her voice shook when she described being fired, but she didn't cry. She was strong. What would you say to other service workers who face similar situations? David asked. Don't be afraid to show compassion, Jennifer said, even if it costs you. Because doing the right thing matters more than keeping a job that asks you to be cruel. After the interview, David turned back to Marcus. What's next for your company? Complete restructuring. New managers, new training, new policies. Every employee will be trained in compassion and inclusion. We'll have a homeless outreach program. Free meals for anyone who needs them. Won't that hurt your business? Your image? If feeding hungry people hurts my business, then I don't want that business, David smiled. That's a powerful statement. It's the truth. The interview lasted another hour. By the time it ended, Marcus was exhausted. This will air tonight, David said. 6 o'clock news. Are you ready? As ready as I'll ever be. After David and his crew left, Marcus sat alone in his office. Sarah walked in with her phone. Marcus, you need to see this. She showed him a social media post. Tom Henderson had posted a long statement. Today I was fired for doing my job. Marcus Williams is painting himself as a hero, but the truth is different. He set up his managers. He created an impossible situation and then punished us for following the standards he established. This is about revenge, not justice. I'm consulting with lawyers. This isn't over. The post had 300 comments. Some supported Tom, others called him out. There's more, Sarah said. She showed him another post. Tom Chen had written something similar. They're organizing, Sarah said. All 9 fired managers. They're planning a lawsuit. Marcus wasn't surprised. Let them sue. We have documentation. We have video. We have witnesses. They're also spreading rumors, saying you're unstable, that this company is falling apart. Is it affecting business? Sarah hesitated. Some corporate clients have called. They're concerned. 3 have cancelled reservations for large events. Marcus felt a knot in his stomach. How much revenue? About $80,000. Is that all? So far. Marcus stood and walked to the window. The city sparkled below. His empire. Built over 15 years. Now potentially crumbling because he'd stood up for what was right. What if I'm wrong? Marcus said quietly. What if this destroys everything I built? You're not wrong, Sarah said firmly. You're doing the right thing. The right thing is expensive, so is being cruel. You just don't see the cost immediately. Marcus turned. How are the 4 remaining managers doing? Terrified. They're working with Jennifer, but they're worried they'll be next. Tell them they're safe. As long as they're trying, they're safe. Sarah nodded. There's something else. Jennifer found something while reviewing employee files. What? Tom Chen wasn't the only one. We have complaints going back 3 years. Customers complaining about discrimination. Employees complaining about hostile work environment. All buried. All ignored. Marcus felt sick. Why didn't I see this? Because you trusted your managers to handle it. And they handled it by covering it up. How many complaints? 47. Marcus sat down heavily. 47 people tried to tell us there was a problem and we ignored them. Not we. Your managers. And now those managers are gone. Marcus put his head in his hands. This is so much bigger than I thought, which is why it matters. You're not just fixing 9 bad managers. You're fixing a broken system. There was a knock on the door. Jennifer walked in looking worried. Marcus, there's a crowd forming outside the building. What kind of crowd? Media, but also people. Lots of people. Marcus walked to the window. 42 floors below, he could see them. Dozens of people holding signs. What do the signs say? Jennifer came to the window. Some say thank you, Marcus. Some say fire Tom, but some say corporate stunt and fake news. They think I'm lying. Some of them. Tom Henderson has been doing interviews. He's saying you set this up for publicity. Marcus watched the crowd grow. News vans, cameras, reporters. I need to go down there, he said. Marcus, that's not safe, Sarah protested. I need to face them. I need them to see I'm not hiding. Let me come with you, Jennifer said. No, you've been through enough. That's exactly why I should come. They need to see that this affected real people. Marcus looked at her. Jennifer's eyes were determined. Okay, he said. Let's go. They took the elevator down. The lobby was chaos. Security was struggling to keep people out. Marcus pushed through the doors. Immediately, reporters swarmed him. Cameras flashed. Microphones thrust in his face. Mr. Williams. Is this a publicity stunt? Did you really get kicked out? Are you suing your former managers? Marcus held up his hands. The crowd quieted slightly. I'm not here to give a statement, he said. I'm here to listen. If you have something to say to me, say it. A man pushed forward. He was middle-aged, wearing a worn coat. I want to thank you, the man said. I'm homeless. I've been kicked out of restaurants my whole life. What you did matters. Marcus nodded. What's your name? Robert. Robert, would you like to come inside? Have a meal. Robert's eyes widened. Really? Really? Right now, my office. Best meal we've got. Tears filled Robert's eyes. Thank you. A woman stepped forward. Mr. Williams, I work at a restaurant downtown. Not one of yours, but my manager treats people exactly like your managers did. What you're doing is brave. What's your name? Sarah. Sarah Johnson. Are you looking for a new job, Sarah? Sarah blinked. Are you serious? I'm very serious. Give your information to my assistant. We're hiring. Another voice, angry. This is garbage. You're just trying to make yourself look good. Marcus turned. A young man, maybe 25, glaring at him. You think you're a hero? The man continued. You're a millionaire playing dress-up. You don't know what it's like to really be homeless. You're right, Marcus said quietly. I don't know what it's like anymore. I escaped it. But I remember, and I'm trying to make sure others are treated better than I was. Is that wrong? The young man hesitated. You can't fix the system by firing a few managers. You're right again. That's why I'm changing everything. Training, policies, free meal programs. But if you have better ideas, I'm listening. The young man wasn't expecting that. He stepped back unsure, more voices. Some supportive, some critical. Marcus answered every question. He didn't defend himself. He just told the truth. After 30 minutes, the crowd began to disperse. Most looked satisfied, some still skeptical. Marcus went back inside with Robert, the homeless man. They went to the executive dining room. Marcus ordered food. I don't understand why you're doing this, Robert said as they ate. Because someone should have done it for me 25 years ago, Marcus said. And they didn't, Robert nodded slowly. What happened to you back then? Marcus told him. The shelters, the streets, the hunger, the fear. How did you get out? Robert asked. Luck, hard work. And one person who gave me a chance. Marcus paused. Her name was Helen. She owned a tiny diner. I walked in looking for day-old bread. She gave me a job instead. Where is she now? She died 5 years ago, but I named my first restaurant after her, Helen's Diner. Robert smiled. That's beautiful. They ate in comfortable silence. When they finished, Marcus handed Robert his business card. If you ever need anything, call that number. Someone will always answer. Robert took the card like it was made of gold. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Call me Marcus. After Robert left, Marcus returned to his office. Sarah was waiting. The 6 o'clock news is starting, she said. They turned on the TV. David Chen appeared on screen. Tonight, an exclusive investigation. A millionaire restaurant owner disguises himself as homeless and gets kicked out of his own establishments. What he discovered will shock you. The story played. The footage. The interviews, everything. Marcus watched in silence. When it ended, his phone exploded. Texts, emails, calls, some praising him, some condemning him. But the message was out and there was no taking it back. The next morning, Marcus woke to his phone ringing at 6 o'clock. It was Sarah. Her voice was urgent. Turn on the news. Any channel. Marcus grabbed the remote. Every major network was covering the story. Restaurant mogul exposes discrimination in his own company. Millionaire goes undercover as homeless. Chicago restaurants under fire. His face was everywhere. We're trending on every platform, Sarah said. 12 million views in 8 hours. The Tribune's website crashed from traffic. Is that good? Depends. We're also getting death threats. Marcus sat up. What? People saying you're destroying small businesses, that you're virtue signaling, that you're a hypocrite. Security is checking them out, but Marcus, you need to be careful. What about business? The restaurants? Sarah paused. That's the interesting part. Reservations are up 30%. Up? People want to see what we're about. They want to support what you're doing. But Marcus, we have a problem. We don't have enough staff to handle it. We fired 9 managers. We're scrambling. Then we hire fast. I'm already on it. But there's more. Tom Henderson held a press conference last night. He's suing for wrongful termination. $5 million. Marcus rubbed his eyes. Of course he is. He's claiming you created a hostile work environment, that you set him up, that the whole thing was staged. We have video evidence when he says the videos are taken out of context, that you edited them to make him look bad. Marcus got out of bed. I'm coming in. Marcus, it's 6 in the morning. I don't care. I'm coming in. He arrived at the office by 7. The building was already surrounded by media. He had to push through reporters to get inside. Sarah met him in the lobby. It's chaos. The phones haven't stopped ringing. We've had 300 applications for the manager positions. Jennifer is overwhelmed trying to screen them. Where is she? Conference room. She's been here since 5. Marcus found Jennifer sorting through resumes. She looked exhausted. Jennifer, have you slept? I can't sleep. There's too much to do. She held up a stack of papers. Look at these applications. Single mothers, former homeless people, veterans, people who understand what this is really about. Marcus sat down beside her. We'll get through this. Tom Henderson is saying I'm lying, that I made up the story about being fired. People believe him? Some do. They say I'm just an opportunist, that I'm using this for money. Marcus felt anger rising. You stood up for what was right. They fired you. Now you're being punished again. I can handle it, Jennifer said quietly. I've handled worse. Sarah walked in. Marcus, you have visitors, and you're not going to like it. Who? The other restaurant owners. Your competitors. They want a meeting. Marcus frowned. How many? 7. They're in the main conference room. Marcus stood. Let's see what they want. He walked into the conference room. 7 restaurant owners sat around the table. He recognized most of them. Robert Chen owned the largest Chinese restaurant chain in Chicago. Maria Santos owned 5 upscale Mexican restaurants. David Park owned a famous steakhouse. Gentlemen, ladies, Marcus said, sitting down. To what do I owe this pleasure? Robert Chen spoke first. Marcus, what you're doing is bad for all of us. How so? You're making us all look bad. People are questioning every restaurant now, asking if we discriminate. We are losing business because of you. Marcus leaned back. You're losing business because I exposed discrimination in my own restaurants. You're creating a narrative that all restaurants treat homeless people badly, Maria Santos said. That's not true, isn't it? Marcus looked at each of them. When was the last time any of you served a homeless person? Silence, that's what I thought. David Park leaned forward. Marcus, we understand what you're trying to do, but you're going about it the wrong way. You humiliated your managers publicly. You're costing people jobs. You're hurting the industry. The industry hurt itself, Marcus said coldly. I just exposed it. We want you to issue a statement, Robert Chen said. Say this was isolated. That most restaurants don't have this problem. Calm things down. You want me to lie. We want you to be reasonable. Marcus stood. Let me be very clear. I'm not backing down. I'm not apologizing. And I'm not protecting an industry that treats people like garbage. If my story is hurting your business, maybe you should ask yourselves why. You're making a mistake, Maria Santos said. No, you made the mistake. You've been making it for years. I just finally did something about it. Marcus walked out. Sarah followed him. That could have gone better. They're afraid. Good, they should be. Back in his office, Marcus found more messages, but one stood out. An email from Helen's daughter, Rebecca. Mr. Williams, I saw your story on the news. My mother would be so proud of you. She always said you were special. Thank you for honoring her memory. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. He typed back quickly. Rebecca, your mother saved my life. Everything I'm doing is because of her. Thank you for reaching out. He hit send. Another email caught his attention. From the mayor's office. Mr. Williams, Mayor Johnson would like to meet with you to discuss your homeless outreach program. Please call to schedule. Marcus showed it to Sarah. The mayor wants to meet. That's good, right? I don't know. Politicians are unpredictable. His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Williams? This is Tom Henderson. Marcus's jaw tightened. Tom, I want to talk. Off the record. We have nothing to talk about. Please, just 5 minutes. I'll come to your office. Why would I agree to that? Tom's voice cracked. Because I'm sorry. Because I was wrong. Because I need you to understand something. Marcus was silent. 5 minutes, Tom said. That's all I'm asking. Against his better judgment, Marcus agreed. Fine, 5 minutes. Tom arrived 30 minutes later. He looked terrible. Unshaven, red eyes, rumpled suit. Marcus met him in a small conference room. Sarah insisted on being present. Talk, Marcus said. Tom sat down heavily. I dropped the lawsuit. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Why? Because my wife saw the footage. The real footage, not edited. She saw what I did. How I treated you. How I treated Jennifer. Tom's voice broke. She was ashamed of me. My own wife was ashamed. She should be. I know. Tom looked up. I'm not here to ask for my job back. I know that's not happening. I'm here to tell you that you were right. I did become cruel. I did forget why restaurants exist. To serve people, all people. Marcus was quiet. I grew up poor, Tom continued. My parents worked 3 jobs between them. We ate at soup kitchens sometimes, and somewhere along the way, I decided that when I made it, I'd never be associated with that again. I'd be the one turning people away. That doesn't excuse what you did. I know, nothing excuses it. But I wanted you to know that I understand now. I saw my son watching the news story. He asked me why I was so mean to that man. He's 7 years old and he could see what I couldn't. Tom stood. I'm going to find a new job. Somewhere that doesn't let me make these decisions. Somewhere that forces me to be better. But I wanted to say I'm sorry. To you, to Jennifer, to everyone I hurt. He walked to the door, then turned back. What you're doing is going to change this city, maybe this country. Don't stop, even when it gets hard. Don't stop. Then he left. Sarah looked at Marcus. Did that just happen? I think so. Do you believe him? Marcus thought about it. I don't know. But I hope so. For his son's sake. The day continued. More interviews. More calls. More chaos. By 6 o'clock, Marcus was exhausted. He sat in his office looking at the city lights. Sarah brought him coffee. Jennifer found something. You need to see this. She pulled up a document on her computer. These are employee surveys from all 13 restaurants. Done 6 months ago. Before you went undercover. And look at the results. 78% of employees said they'd witnessed discrimination. 62% said they'd been told to turn away customers based on appearance. 45% said they'd been threatened with firing for showing compassion. Marcus felt sick. We had this data? It was buried in HR files. Never acted on. Why not? Because the managers suppressed it. They told employees the surveys were confidential, then ignored the results. Marcus stood and walked to the window. This goes deeper than I thought, much deeper. This isn't 9 bad managers. This is systemic failure at every level. Then we fix every level. His phone rang. Jennifer, Marcus, you need to come to Italian Palace. Right now. What's wrong? Tom Chen is here. He's drunk. He's causing a scene. And he has a gun. Marcus's blood ran cold. Call the police. I'm on my way. He grabbed his jacket and ran. Marcus drove faster than he should have. His heart pounded. His hands gripped the steering wheel. Sarah called. Police are on their way. Don't go inside, Marcus. Wait for them. I'm not letting him hurt anyone. Wait, Marcus, please. He ended the call. Italian Palace was only 10 blocks away. Marcus arrived in 8 minutes. Police sirens wailed in the distance, but they weren't there yet. The restaurant was in chaos. Customers were running out. Staff huddled behind cars. Marcus spotted Jennifer near the entrance. Where is he? Marcus asked. Inside. Main dining room. He's waving the gun around. screaming about how you ruined his life. Is anyone hurt? Not yet. But Marcus, he's not stable. He's been drinking. He's saying crazy things. Marcus looked at the restaurant. His restaurant. Built with years of work. Now the scene of a potential tragedy. I'm going in, he said. Marcus, no. But he was already moving. He pushed through the door. The dining room was empty except for Tom Chen, standing in the center, gun in hand. Tom spun around. His eyes were wild. You! This is your fault. Marcus held up his hands. Tom, let's talk about this. Talk? You destroyed me. My wife left me. My kids won't speak to me. I can't get a job anywhere. You did this. I didn't do this, Tom. You did. By the choices you made. I was doing my job. Tom waved the gun. I was maintaining standards. Those weren't standards. That was cruelty. Don't lecture me. Tom's hand shook. I think you're so righteous. You're not. You're just rich. You get to play dress up and feel good about yourself, and then you go back to your mansion. Marcus took a slow step forward. You're right, I am rich. I do get to go home to comfort. But that doesn't make what you did okay. Stay back. Tom pointed the gun at Marcus. Marcus stopped. Is that gun even loaded? Tom laughed bitterly. Does it matter? My life is over anyway. Your life isn't over. You made mistakes, bad ones, but you can fix them. How? How do I fix this? Everyone knows what I did. Everyone hates me. Tom Henderson came to see me today, Marcus said quietly. He apologized. He's trying to be better. You could do the same. I'm not Tom Henderson. No, but you're both human. You both made mistakes, and you both have a choice now. Tom's hand lowered slightly. I have 3 kids. They saw the news. They saw what their dad did. My youngest asked me why I was mean to hungry people. His voice broke. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to explain to a 6-year-old why I turned away someone who needed help. So stop trying to explain it, Marcus said. Start fixing it instead. How? Put down the gun. Turn yourself in, get help, and then spend the rest of your life making amends. Tom looked at the gun in his hand. Tears streamed down his face. I'm so tired, he whispered. I know. But this isn't the answer. Police sirens grew louder. They were close now. They're going to arrest me, Tom said. Yes, but you'll be alive. And alive means you can change. Tom's hand shook. The gun wavered. Then he set it on a table and sat down, burying his face in his hands. Marcus walked over slowly. He picked up the gun. It wasn't even loaded. Police burst through the door, weapons drawn. Gun down! Hands up! Marcus set the gun on the floor and raised his hands. I'm Marcus Williams. I own this restaurant. The situation is under control. That's Tom Chen. He needs help, not prison. Officers moved in, handcuffing Tom. Paramedics checked him over. One officer approached Marcus. Mr. Williams, that was incredibly dangerous. You could have been killed. The gun wasn't loaded. You didn't know that when you went in. Marcus looked at Tom being led away. No, I didn't. Jennifer ran over. Oh my God, Marcus. Are you insane? Probably. What if he'd shot you? But he didn't. Sarah arrived, face pale. I'm going to kill you myself for that stunt. Get in line. The next hour was a blur. Police statements, media cameras, questions from reporters. Marcus answered everything honestly. Yes, he'd gone in alone. Yes, it was dangerous. No, he didn't regret it. Tom Chen is a man who made terrible mistakes, Marcus told the cameras. But he's still a man. He's still someone's father. And he deserves a chance to get help. Later, back at the office, Marcus sat with Sarah and Jennifer. Tom Chen is being held for psychiatric evaluation, Sarah said. They're not pressing charges. The gun wasn't loaded, and he didn't actually threaten anyone. They're calling it a mental health crisis. Good, Marcus said. He needs help, not prison. The media is calling you a hero, Jennifer said. I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who didn't want to see another life destroyed. His phone rang. The mayor. Mr. Williams, I saw what happened tonight. That was incredibly brave. Thank you, Mayor Johnson. I want to work with you on your homeless outreach program. I think Chicago needs what you're proposing. I'd be honored. Let's meet tomorrow. 10 o'clock, City Hall. I'll be there. The call ended. Marcus looked at Sarah and Jennifer. This is getting bigger than I ever imagined. Good, Jennifer said. It should be. What you're doing matters. We're doing, Marcus corrected. This isn't just me anymore. Over the next week, things began to settle. Tom Chen was released to outpatient care. He issued a public apology and enrolled in therapy. Tom Henderson started volunteering at a homeless shelter. He called Marcus and asked if he could help train new managers. Marcus said yes. The 4 remaining managers completed their training with Jennifer. All 4 passed. All 4 committed to the new standards. Marcus hired 9 new managers. All of them had personal experience with poverty. 3 were formerly homeless. 2 were immigrants. All of them understood compassion. Reservations continued to climb. The restaurants were packed every night, but more importantly, word spread. Other restaurant owners started reaching out. They wanted to learn. They wanted to change, Maria Santos called. Marcus, I was wrong. I want to implement your training program in my restaurants. Will you help me? Marcus helped, Robert Chen called. I've been thinking about what you said. I want to start a free meal program. Can Jennifer consult? Jennifer consulted, David Park called. My staff wants to learn your methods. Can you send trainers? Marcus sent trainers. The movement was spreading. The mayor's meeting was productive. Chicago announced a citywide homeless outreach program. Marcus's restaurants would be central hubs. Free meals, job training, resources. This is going to change lives, Mayor Johnson said. That's the goal, Marcus replied. A month after the incident, Marcus stood in the original restaurant, the one where Tom Henderson had kicked him out. It looked different now, warmer, more welcoming. A sign near the entrance read, "Everyone welcome." Everyone served. Everyone matters. Sarah stood beside him. How does it feel? Like we're finally doing it right. You know the national media is still covering this. You've been on 3 talk shows. Time magazine wants an interview. I know, you're famous now, the homeless millionaire. The compassionate CEO, Marcus laughed. I hate that title. Too bad. Here's sticking. Jennifer walked over with a clipboard. Marcus, we've served 312 free meals this week. We've hired 18 formerly homeless people across all restaurants. And we have 200 more applications. That's incredible. It's just the beginning, Jennifer said. Other cities are calling. They want to replicate the program. Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in years. Pride, real pride. There's someone here to see you, Sarah said. An elderly man stood at the entrance. Worn clothes, grey beard, tired eyes. Marcus walked over. Can I help you? Are you Marcus Williams? The man asked. I am. I'm Robert. We met a few weeks ago. You bought me lunch, Marcus remembered. Of course. How are you, Robert? Better. I got into a shelter, thanks to your program. And I have an interview next week. For a job, Marcus smiled. That's wonderful. I wanted to thank you properly. You gave me hope. I'd lost that. Marcus shook Robert's hand. You're going to be okay. I know. Because people like you exist. After Robert left, Marcus stood in his restaurant watching people eat, rich and poor, young and old, all together. This was what he'd built the company for. This was what it should have been all along, but there was still one more thing he needed to do. One final piece to make everything right. 6 months later, Marcus stood in front of a new building. It wasn't a restaurant. It was something better. The Helen Morrison Center for Hope and Opportunity, named after the woman who'd given him a chance 25 years ago. The woman who'd saved his life. The center was massive. 3 floors, job training programs, free meals, counseling services, housing assistance, medical care, everything someone needed to get back on their feet. Rebecca, Helen's daughter, stood beside him. Tears streamed down her face. My mother would have loved this, she whispered. I wish she could see it. She can. I believe that. The grand opening was packed. Hundreds of people, media everywhere, politicians, business leaders, and most importantly, formerly homeless people who'd been helped by Marcus's programs. Mayor Johnson gave a speech. 6 months ago, one man decided to do something radical. He decided to care, and in doing so, he inspired an entire city. Today, we're opening this center as a testament to what compassion can achieve. Thank you, Marcus Williams, for reminding us what really matters. Applause filled the air. Marcus took the podium. He looked out at the crowd. He saw Jennifer with her 3 kids. He saw Tom Henderson, now a volunteer coordinator. He saw the 4 managers who'd stayed and learned. He saw Robert, now employed and thriving. Thank you all for coming, Marcus began. 6 months ago, I did something that some people called crazy. I dressed like a homeless man and visited my own restaurants. What I found broke my heart, but what happened next restored my faith in humanity." He paused. "A woman named Jennifer Rodriguez showed me that compassion still exists. She risked her job to help someone in need, and in doing so, she inspired everything that followed." Jennifer wiped tears from her eyes. "Tom Henderson showed me that people can change. He made terrible mistakes, but he owned them. And now he's helping others learn from them." Tom nodded, emotional. "Robert showed me that hope is never truly lost. That with a little help, anyone can rebuild their life." Robert smiled. "And Rebecca Morrison showed me that the legacy of kindness lives on. Her mother Helen saved my life 25 years ago. This center is my way of honoring that gift by giving others the same chance." Marcus looked at the building. "This center will serve free meals. It will provide job training. It will offer counseling and medical care. But most importantly, it will offer dignity, because everyone deserves to be treated like a human being, regardless of their circumstances." The crowd stood and applauded. After the ceremony, Marcus toured the center. The kitchen could serve 500 meals a day. The job training center had computers, equipment, and experienced instructors. The medical clinic was fully staffed. Jennifer walked with him. "You did it, Marcus. You really did it. We did it. This was never just me. So what's next?" Marcus smiled. "Next, we expand. 5 more cities next year, 10 the year after. We don't stop until every city has a center like this. That's ambitious. So was escaping homelessness. So was building an empire. Why stop being ambitious now?" Sarah joined them. "Marcus, the national news wants an interview. Good Morning America wants you on next week. And the president's office called. They want to discuss making this a federal program." Marcus laughed. "The president? Apparently compassion is good politics. It should be good policy, not just politics. Well, you have a chance to make it policy. Are you going to take it?" Marcus thought about young Marcus, sleeping in doorways, hungry, scared, hopeless. He thought about Helen, giving him a job when no one else would. He thought about Jennifer, risking everything to help a stranger. He thought about Tom Henderson, learning to be better. He thought about Robert, getting his life back. "Yes," Marcus said, "I'm going to take it." 3 months later, Congress passed the National Compassion Initiative, $5 billion for homeless services, job training, housing assistance, medical care. Marcus sat in the Oval Office as the president signed it into law. "This is your legacy, Marcus," the president said. "You changed the conversation." "I just told the truth. Sometimes that's all it takes." A year after the original incident, Marcus stood in his original restaurant again. It was unrecognizable from before. The walls had photos, formerly homeless people who'd been helped. Their stories, their successes. One wall was dedicated to Jennifer, another to Helen, another to Robert, and in the corner a small plaque. "To those who were turned away, we're sorry. To those who need help, you're welcome. To those who showed compassion, thank you." Jennifer walked in with her family. Her 3 kids ran to Marcus. "Uncle Marcus!" they shouted. Marcus had become part of their family. He'd attended birthdays, school plays, family dinners. "How are my favorite kids?" he asked, hugging them. "Great. Mom says we're going to Disney World." Marcus smiled at Jennifer. "Disney World?" Jennifer shrugged. "I can afford it now. Thanks to you." "Thanks to you. You were brave when it mattered." Tom Henderson arrived next. He'd lost weight, looked healthier, happier. "Marcus, the volunteer numbers are up. We have 200 people signed up for next month's training." "That's incredible, Tom. I'm proud of what we're doing. Really proud." The 4 original managers came in together. Emily, Michael, David, and Rachel. All thriving, all leading compassion initiatives at their restaurants. "We wanted to thank you," Emily said. "You saved our careers by pushing us to be better. You saved yourselves by choosing to grow." Sarah arrived with her phone. "Marcus, you're not going to believe this." "What now?" "Tom Chen, he just opened his own restaurant. A non-profit. All profits go to homeless services." Marcus's eyes widened. "Tom Chen? He says you inspired him. He wants to dedicate his life to making amends." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. That's beautiful. He wants you to come to the opening. Next month, I'll be there." As the evening went on, Marcus looked around his restaurant. It was full of life, full of laughter, full of hope. A homeless man walked in, hesitant. A waitress immediately greeted him. "Welcome, come in." "Let me get you a table." She led him to a comfortable booth, brought him a menu, treated him with dignity. The man's eyes filled with tears. "You're really going to serve me?" "Of course." "Everyone's welcome here." Marcus watched from across the room. This was it. This was what he'd been fighting for. Later that night, Marcus stood on his office balcony. The city sparkled below, his city. Changed forever. Sarah joined him. "You know what I think?" "What?" "I think Helen would be proud of you." Marcus smiled. "I hope so. I know so. You took the chance she gave you and multiplied it. You've helped thousands of people. Maybe millions eventually. We've helped. It was never just me. True, but you started it. You had the courage to walk into your own restaurant looking homeless. That took guts." Marcus thought about that day, 6 months ago. "A lifetime ago. I was so angry that day," he admitted. "When Tom Henderson kicked me out, when Tom Chen fired Jennifer, I wanted revenge. But you chose something better. I chose change. Revenge would have felt good for a moment. Change will last forever." Sarah smiled. "That's why you're who you are." Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Mr. Williams, my name is David. I'm homeless in Seattle. I saw your story. I have hope now." "Thank you." Marcus showed the text to Sarah. "This is why we do it. One person at a time, one person at a time." Marcus looked back at the city. Somewhere down there, another young person was sleeping in a doorway. Another person was being turned away from a restaurant. Another person was losing hope. But now there was help. Now there was a system. Now there was compassion. It wasn't perfect. It would never be perfect. But it was better, and better was enough to start. Marcus thought about his journey. From homeless kid to millionaire, from victim to victor, from hopeless to hopeful. It had taken 25 years, 15 years to build his empire, 10 years to realize he'd lost his way, 6 months to find it again, but he'd found it, and he'd never lose it again. "You ready to go home?" Sarah asked. "In a minute." Marcus stood there looking at his city, his restaurants, his legacy. He thought about every person he'd helped, every meal served, every job created, every life changed, and he thought about Helen, the woman who'd started it all. "Thank you," he whispered to the wind. "Thank you for giving me a chance. I promise I'll keep giving others the same chance. For the rest of my life." The wind carried his words away, and Marcus Williams, formerly homeless, now millionaire, now advocate, now hope giver, smiled. Because he'd learned the most important lesson of all: success isn't measured by what you have. It's measured by what you give. And Marcus Williams planned to give everything, one compassionate moment at a time.